Okay, welcome back. And after tonight, we have just 2 television shows left until our next pay-per-view, a big one for Great American Bash 2001. I'm really trying to build up some feuds here, and that's what these next few shows are really all about. Rey Mysterio's morale has been a real concern, so I'm trying to keep him happy. I've actually elevated him to main event status. It might be a bit foolish, but he's not, even though he's main event status, he's not going to be fighting in the main event until after his feud with Chris Kanyon for the US title. And he won't be fighting for a world title after that. It's to try and keep his morale up. Obviously, it didn't work with Goldberg because he was already a main eventer. And it's not going to help that he's going to lose tonight, Rey Mysterio, but he has to with Billy Kidman because it's going to push his singles career, and the Mamalukes are feuding with Buff Bagwell and Kevin Nash. So and Nash doesn't want to team with Bagwell much, so I'm sort of regretting feuding them together. But the Mamalukes can win the title, it'll do them a lot of good, and maybe I'll add a third team into the mix at the event. We'll see how it goes. But let's get to the start. David Flair recently came back from development territory. AJ Styles is going to beat him. Rick Steiner is going to retain his hardcore title against Jim Duggan, a new hardcore title competitor. Lance Storm and the Cat face for the first time after the backstage assaults. And Lance Storm is going to retain his TV title. Mamalukes going to beat the Filthy Animals. Nash and Buff are going to run in. Botched interference, and Mamalukes are going to win. The aftermath is that Buff and Nash are going to attack Vito and the Bull backstage. Chris Candido is going to beat Lash LeRoux. He requested a match with him again. Lash LeRoux is going to be cheated out of the Cruiserweight title by, again, Jeff Jarrett. Sid Vicious is going to beat Sting, not cleanly. That's another feud that's going on, which I hope elevates Sid Vicious back up to main event status. And the other segments, interviews with Scott Steiner and Dustin Rhodes, building up their world title rivalry. They've not actually had a match yet. Goldberg getting his interview. He's feuding with Mike Awesome. And interview Rey Mysterio, who's feuding with Chris Kanyon. He's basically telling him here that, he's going to retain his tag title tonight, and then he'll come for Kanyon for the US title. Well, no, he's actually already got the US title, but he's going to give Kanyon a go at him, basically. So that's how this show is going to go. Let's see if we can get into the 70s, because we've had too many shows in the 60 rating recently. Not a bad opener. David Flair lost overness. AJ Styles gained overness. I really don't care about what happens to David Flair. He's not a good wrestler. AJ Styles, I'm pleased that he's gained overness from that, and not a bad rating. Goldberg backstage, he got his segment. His morale is low. Goldberg, Buff Bagwell, Kevin Nash, and Rey Mysterio are all concerns at the moment. Hardcore titles lost image. Rick Steiner beat Jim Duggan. It's not going well, this at all. Hardcore title. Rey Mysterio backstage, that went okay. He didn't lose anything from it. Lance Storm for Cat. When it comes to Great American Bash, I want that rating to be a lot higher. The TV titles gained image, and I think these two will have an epic feud. It just needs to be built up. Scott Steiner gained overness. He's laying into Dustin Rhodes there. Mamalukes Filthy Animals, that got a surprisingly high score. Rey Mysterio was sluggish and didn't put much effort in. Well, that's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? Yeah, that's not ideal. But he went down to about 25% morale. I've made him a main eventer. And let's see what he's like after this show anyway. Buff Bagwell gained overness from this, and so did Big Vito. So that actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Maybe Nash will want to work with Buff again now that he's gained a bit of overness. Little did I know that actually the concern's going to be for Chris Kanyon Rey Mysterio match more than for tag titles match. What can you say about these two? They put on epic match after epic match. they have fought each other at the last 2 pay-per-views, so I think it's time that they fought other people. But Lash LeRoux is feuding with Jeff Jarrett. That's going to elevate him. You can't put Jeff Jarrett in for the Cruiserweight title, so Chris Candido will get a very worthy opponent, I'm sure. Billy Kidman is available. Dustin Rhodes backstage. That went well. I think his feud with Scott Steiner is going to be one of the biggest feuds. Maybe not by name, but it's going to do Dustin Rhodes a lot of good. It could elevate him to being the top guy in the whole company. And we have the main event now. Sting lost overness, Sid Vicious gained overness. Not great for Sting, good for Sid Vicious, not a bad rating. Referee was out of position and didn't see it. What did Sid rolls through with the move? He used a pull of the tights to get Sting over. I can't imagine Sid Vicious doing that. But there we go. And there we go, 70%. So not a bad score, but we want to be in that bracket continuously week after week, show after show. The obvious low point was Rick Steiner, Jim Duggan hardcore title. Not great. So the hardcore title might not be appearing at the Great American Bash if these sorts of matches are getting these ratings. We'll have to see. Got a couple more shows to plan. First of all, let's have a look at Rey Mysterio's morale. It's gone down to 20. I really don't know what to do with him. It is concerning. It's just a bit... Yeah, because he was 25% before. He's the US champ. You know, I can't make him world heavyweight champ. He was nowhere near that before. So I really don't know what is up with Rey Mysterio. At least he's not saying he wants to leave. But he will do, probably, after the next show. Writing staff. Chavo Guerrero, he didn't appear. I'm holding off his introduction into the Filthy Animals because Rey Mysterio is sort of going off on his own thing. Might not work out now. WWF signed British Bulldog and Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat. Flipping out, there's a few golden oldies here. They've signed Scott Hall. I did consider signing Scott Hall, but like I say, I wanted to keep it realistic, at least for half a year while we got our finances back up to scratch. Warrior, Paul Heyman. This is all what WW. Oh, God help them. Vince Russo. Okay. That's not good for Nitro, really, is it? That's a bit down on what we usually get. Hugh Morris wants to go against the Animal. That's fine, we can do that. Sid and Sting didn't click. Rey Mysterio thinks his team with Billy Kidman's run its course. Yeah, I'll make it inactive. Anything to keep you happy, Ray. There we go. So, one match you're going to get next is Hugh Morris and Animal, because if someone requests a match, I always give them what they want. Let's go into tag teams. Filthy Animals, they're not the tag champs. Let's say they had an argument off camera or during the match yesterday. Active teams only. Inactive. There we go. So, let's go to Thursday. Only a few days away from the no news. Only a few days away from the big event. We've got Thunder, then we have got Saturday Showdown, and then we have got the big one, the Great American Bash. So I'll get this next episode sorted, and I will be back with you shortly.